Hello.
Hey guys,
Welcome back.
Welcome
how are you guys
to
doing?
Supabase Happy Hour number 19.
Wow,
That's
number 19.
very
Really?
exciting.
19? Wow.
Yeah, it's
When did that
so
happen?
well about over the last 19 episodes or so.
I don't know, wasn't there for it.
You have been here for every single one. Yeah, welcome to the Supabase Happy Hour. So this is the happiest hour of the week because we just get to hang out and build some cool stuff, usually with Supabase because we all work at Supabase. So a quick introduction. My name is Jon Meyers. I'm a developer advocate from Supabase. Who are you guys?
And I'm Tyler, and I'm also a developer advocate at Supabase.
I'm Alaister. I'm on the front end team, so still not a DevRel, but you know we're making steps. Just kidding. To all my front end teammates.
You'll get there one day.
Alaister have been joining the DevRel meeting recently, so yeah.
He has.
yeah,
I think something's
well,
maybe
the
going on
last
in the
one.
background. We just haven't been told yet. Hello, Cookify Media. Thank you for joining us yet again. Yeah, we've been seeing you every week for a while now, so thank you so much for joining us again. Ed, welcome to the stream. I don't know if I have seen your name before, so if you have joined us before, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time, then welcome to the stream. Anyone else who's joining us live, jump in those comments. Let us know where are you tuning in from and what ridiculous time of day is it for you. For me, it is 10 a.m. because I'm in Melbourne, Australia. What about Tyler? What time is it for you?
Yeah, for me it's 9 a.m. because I'm in Tokyo, Japan.
And I'm winning on the earliness front. It's 8 a.m. for me because I'm in Bali at the moment, Indonesia. For one more week, and then back to the you know I can't be too far away from Jon for too long.
No, our powers start to diminish. If you see my beard is just getting like longer and longer, I'm becoming more and more scraggly as Alaister is away from Melbourne. So when he comes back, I'll be able to fix myself up and go get some burgers.
Oh yeah, burgers and beers. Nothing better.
Yeah.
Do we have a budget for that in Supabase?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Come work at Supabase. We've got a burgers and beers budget.
Yeah, well, we made our own beer, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah, that one.
When you were in Germany, or was this? It wasn't actually real, right? This was a
April Fool's. It was
an April Fool's joke that we
there
made.
Was beer though. There was plenty of beer in Germany.
But I think we should definitely do that. Yeah, we should make it was even like non-alcoholic delicious beer. Yeah, we should definitely make a super brew. Nick is joining us from the land of fire. I wonder if that just means it's summer where you are and very, very hot. It is not summer where I am. It's quite cold and miserable, but it's starting to warm up. You two are probably in slightly warmer areas. Elliot, hi, how's it going? It is going well. Elliot is joining us from Long Beach in California, which is 5 p.m. That's very reasonable.
Nice.
Hey, I think this might be the first time someone from a reasonable time zone has joined us. Every single time we run this stream, regardless, like we started off running it like much later in the day, which made it really convenient for us. It wasn't the morning, it was like Friday afternoon. But then everyone was just joining us at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're like, all right, this time doesn't work for everyone. Let's move it back so it's, a little bit more convenient for folks over in the US. And then everyone was just joining us from 2 a.m. again. And so we realized that it's just 2 a.m. is dev time. That's when people want to tune into streams. And instead of getting a good night's sleep before work the next day, it's time to watch a 2-hour stream about web development. Nifty Nate is joining us from Head in Hands. Not sure where that is. Cookify Media, it's 2 a.m. in Sweden.
There's the 2 a.m.
Nice.
I knew it.
2 a.m.
I knew it. And we've got
3 a.m.
Krasnodar at 3 a.m.
Wow.
Whereabouts is Krasnodar?
That's a
Krasnodar?
good question.
Not sure.
No
And
idea.
yes, Elliot agrees with us. It's happy time. It's happy hour here. It's time to build some stuff. New Acosta is joining us from 1 a.m.
Wow.
Jonathan, it's 12 p.m. Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wait, is that 12? How do PMs and AMs work at the
I think
12
that's
o'clock?
like noon.
Yeah, that's like lunchtime. Okay, so you must
Yeah.
be in New Zealand, I would be guessing, or somewhere even that experiences the day even earlier than Australia does. And CJ Avila is here to help us with all of our Stripe
Nice.
issues that we run into. I believe CJ is a developer advocate at Stripe. So if we run into
wow.
any issues, we will be begging you in the comments to help us out. And then all of a sudden you will have magically disappeared and disconnected from the stream. But it's only 8 p.m, so we've got you for the rest of the night.
Nice. New England.
Whereabouts in New England are you? Are
Are
you
you a Celtics fan?
Yeah. Are you in
John is.
Boston? 'Cause I
Oh, no.
am a Boston fan, and Tyler is not a Boston fan. Tyler and I's teams, you go for Warriors, right?
Yeah, I go for Warriors.
Our teams went head and head in the most recent NBA final, and Tyler, who won,
It wasn't even close.
it wasn't even close. It was only a game 6. We didn't even push it to a 7. Anyway, before we lose everybody talking about sports,
Including
we
me.
should talk about software.
Yep. let's talk
So
about web development.
a quick update as to what's been happening in the Supabase world this week. Last week we mentioned that the Net Ninja had put out this awesome course using Supabase, and they have been drip feeding out more of the lessons. And so I don't think this is all of them yet. If you want all of them right now, I think you can go to the Net Ninja. That's not the right screen. The Net Ninja. You know what? I'm going to guess that I can click through from somewhere here and find this course. About somewhere here, there is a Supabase course or courses. Anyway, if you want the course now, you can go and get it from the site. But if you are happy to watch it with ads and as they are drip feeding out the different lessons, then head on over to their YouTube and check it out. Just to address the awful lighting, I realized I didn't actually mention this, but the reason that we were a little bit late to the stream is we were all, two of us were experiencing technical issues. And one of them was my Elgato key light that usually lights my face nicely. Just decided to be too smart to work. And when you use smart devices and they make their own decisions, you're not allowed to make decisions anymore. And so I couldn't get it to turn on. I'm not tech savvy enough to turn a light on. And so we've had to go with the ugly overhead lights. So I apologize that I'm not in my usual Twitch streamer, gamer vibe studio. But yeah.
It's all right. You've got my setup to compare to, which is if I sit back, I get this lovely light streak over my entire face.
Beautiful lens flare. It's creative. It's artistic.
No, I'm just gonna have to sit bolt upright the whole stream, whole 2 hours.
Yeah. It'll be really good for your posture.
I could turn off the light, but you never know.
The other thing that has happened over the last couple of weeks is I did a whole bunch of live streams building out a website for the Navbar podcast, which is a podcast that I run with Simon Vrashliotis, previously DevRel at Tailwind. And I've been basically building out an application that requests data from the Notion API, and then that's really slow. So we put a caching layer in the middle using Cloudflare workers and KB storage. so that our Remix app can request data from there. And then, if we have it cached, we can just send it back immediately. Otherwise, we can go and get a fresh version and populate that cache so that the next person doesn't have to wait for it. But yes, been very fun stream series. I think I'll do a couple more streams because I haven't quite finished what I wanted to get finished. And I made it super, super complex and over the top by making it also a GraphQL server running in a Cloudflare worker. So make sure you go and check that out. It was a lot of fun. I'll make sure this playlist is in the description for this stream. But if you're interested in solving problems in that way, you can take that system and then add Supabase, which is kind of like the missing piece, because Supabase allows us to subscribe to changes in the database and then go and run all of this automated stuff. So in that stream series, we're building basically a scheduled task that's going to go and check the Notion API for changes every day. Whereas with Supabase, you don't need to kind of weigh up having freshness of data versus super fast cached results, because you can just have Supabase notify Cloudflare when anything changes and go and update those caches, keeping your database and your global CDN edge cache stuff completely in sync for almost all the time. Go and check that one out. It's entirely free, 28 minutes long, 14 minutes at 2 times speed. Enjoy that. If you also enjoy the example that we're stepping through, there's another free course you should go and check out, which is build a SaaS product with Next.js, Supabase, and Stripe. And so this is stepping through a similar example to what we've been doing in these streams, only much faster, only an hour and 10 minutes instead of a 2-hour stream every week for 10 weeks. So we've been doing it for about 20 hours now, and we don't yet have a functioning app. But if you want to do it much faster, go and check out that course. All right. I think we're ready to jump into it.
Well, I've got one more cheeky shout out, which is a bit of a sneak preview, actually, something we haven't. So it's migrate.supabase.com.
I forgot about this.
So a couple of us have just thrown this together. So this is to all of our happy hour viewers. You can see it first, but it's a Heroku to Supabase import tool. So it just makes it super easy. You sign in, you click through. It works reasonably well. So give it a go. Let us know how it works for you, and I'm sure you'll be hearing
Why
about
might
this
you
in the
want
next few
to
days.
migrate from Heroku to Supabase right now without starting any fires?
We're keeping it very politically correct. Heroku, but they didn't want to do a free plan anymore. So, we have a great free plan, John. That's all I'll say. Very generous free plan.
If you've been receiving your any emails saying that your free dynos are about to be shut off, and I don't know if this was just a tweet, fanning the flames, but maybe that the Postgres database would just be removed, and that made you panic a little bit. Go to migrate.supabase.com. This is a brand new site that I believe maybe Alaister was working on.
It was a couple of the front end team members, where I actually work.
Your actual job, not where I pull you in to do my job. Awesome. So yes, this is a very convenient tool where you can just sign directly into Heroku and just migrate your project across. So super, super easy. Check it out. That is amazing. Sniper Wilson is saying that they need some help from me and would love my email. Well, if you just want to chuck a comment in the comments here, we can answer it on the stream. Otherwise, if you want to DM me on Twitter, that is a good way to get into contact with me. When are we getting Go compatibility? Do you mean for like a Go client library for Supabase? Potentially?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Our CLI is written in Go. We like Go at Supabase. And what is the
Go True?
Right?
We have
Go
a
True
few
is also
client
written in
library, it
Go.
seems like. Yeah, and it seems like we do have a Postgres client library as well as storage client library for Go. So
Right.
I think
Yes, I'm trying to
Yep.
find those docs that have that that nice little
Maybe if you go to the root page of the Supabase community GitHub repo or GitHub org.
Supabase, GitHub, Supabase.
Supabase dash community. Sorry, I'm like hyphen. Supabase hyphen community.
Of course. Yes, we have this lovely table here where you can check out all of the different supported clients, and not just like overall supported, but what's supported within them. And so you'll see that our JavaScript library is quite well supported. C# is surprisingly well supported. I've never used the C# library, but that would be fun to check out. I have a very small amount of C# experience that I could try and lean on to build something. Dart, Flutter. Wait, who built this?
Oh, yeah.
Why do we have so much wonderful support here?
Oh, we have so many great supporters from the community. They've been absolutely amazing. So yeah, but I help as well once in a while. I try to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tyler is our Flutter expert. If you haven't watched the previous videos, the previous streams, we built a multi-platform application using Next.js and Flutter, and it took Alaister and I like 10 episodes to implement the Next.js side of it, and then it took Tyler 2 episodes to implement the whole Flutter thing, and that was even trying to like drag our feet a little bit. Yeah, definitely.
Supabase helped a lot.
Definitely knows this stuff on the Flutter side. But yes, Go, we have a Postgres one, so you can use the Postgres API directly. And so, if you're not super familiar with Supabase, it kind of is just a collection of tools that wrap around a Postgres database. And one of those things that gives us access to that Postgres database is Postgres, which creates this API layer that basically passes through your JWT token and all of your auth stuff to do with Supabase, so that you can use that within your database for things like writing policies or writing Postgres functions, things like that. So yes, you can use that client directly, or we have the storage part of it if you just want to interact with storage. However, anything that's not supported, we have, like, you can do basically everything that you can do with the JS library. You can do through, I believe, you can do through the REST API. So if something isn't supported, I recommend that you maybe just do a whole bunch of API calls to get the data that you need. That could work as well. Hopefully that helped answer your question a little bit. And Elliot is clarifying with, I made some notes I wanted to contribute. It's the start of a README to Happy Days. I added a quick start SQL. Oh, awesome. Brings a lot of the database up to state. Not everything, but it is a start. That is fantastic. Well, our Happy Days repo is open source, and we would absolutely love anyone who would like to contribute anything to come and contribute. So we've been kind of intentionally leaving some little comments throughout the code for community to-dos and things that some kind of smaller things that people could take on to get some experience with contributing to open source. And then we've been going through those PRs at the start of the streams and kind of talking through what they're doing, kind of reviewing them on the stream, and then merging them in, and then sending swag to anyone who has contributed. So highly recommend that you open a PR. In fact, is this PR you right here? Haladeo, is that you? Elliot, I'm gonna guess maybe not, unless you've got a.
No, I'm just that he contributes quite a lot on the actual main Supabase repo to the dashboard as well, I believe. So
awesome.
Nice. It looks like a good PR.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a second. But yes, Elliot, come and pull this down. It's on my personal one, Dijon Masters /Happy Days. Come and if you have a README or anything that you want to modify, do that. And if you need some help, like doing the whole, like creating a PR and a branch and all of that stuff, then just DM me and I will give you a hand. But yeah, should we jump into? Should we get sassy? Should we get sassy with Stripe?
Do it.
Let's review that PR.
Let's review the PR. All right. You never let me get sassy. You never let me jump straight into it. You always pulling me back to the structure of our Supabase happy hour streams. I want to make some money. I want to start my new enterprise. Let's get sassy. All right. So this is a PR from Haladeo, who is Haladeo on GitHub. Looks like they have done a whole bunch of contributions to Supabase, as you said, which is very cool. If we haven't hit you up with swag yet, we certainly will. At the moment, the current date format on the entries looks like this. Look at this beautiful PR. We've even got screenshots. This is amazing. Wow. It's fantastic. So it looks like this, where it's not formatted at all. And the day.js package has been added and the format of the card has changed. So it now looks like this. That looks...
Could you zoom in a bit, maybe?
Amazing.
It's kind of hard to see the difference. Nice.
So this is the previous one. This is just like unformatted.
Yeah.
Is it an ISO string?
Think.
Something like
why
that.
not?
Yeah.
But day.js is an awesome package. It's probably that and date functions or date FNS, however you want to call it. It's those two are like the MVPs of date packages.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was associated because I started back when Moment.js was the cool thing, and then that kind of got rebuilt as date functions, which I think at the time you couldn't pull in individual packages from Moment. It was just like one big bulky import. And so date functions kind of broke it up into individual pieces that you could import. And so I imagine day.js is also very efficient and small, and allows you to do awesome stuff like this. That is fantastic.
Yeah, day.js is only like a couple of kilobytes, so that's what it has over, And also, I argue that the API makes a little bit more sense, especially after the refactor of date FNS. It was like they changed some stuff and upset a lot of people, but day.js, pretty solid.
Nice. Awesome. So we're just importing day.js, and then it looks like we just say day.js and then give it a date, and then we give it a format. And so what we're saying here is day, space, month, a year, hour, colon, minute. So this is just, the syntax that you use for Moment.js or any of those date formatting things, where this basically translates to that date that we saw before, which is very nice.
I like that we're putting the day at the front. Upset the American viewers, but
I was gonna say that we have US dollars, but we have European date formats, which is fine.
It's good. But we'll get everyone to use it just by continually pushing it to people.
It makes sense though, right?
Like it does make. You don't have to. You're preaching to the choir, Jon.
I don't know if it makes sense, Jon.
it's like it's sorted. Like it's like the smallest amount of time, larger amount of time, largest amount of time. Like it makes sense. You just read it left to right, and it's.
But then you have the time at the end, hour, minute. I don't know.
No,
in Japan, it's the other way. So we start from year, month, date,
Japan makes sense
hour,
as well, 'cause it's
minute. So it's actually
completely
sorted.
backwards. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is the US date format.
Yeah, totally.
I know what month it is. I probably, I want to know what day it is.
Yeah, the thing that I like about that reverse one is that there is no controversy about like which way it is. There's no like if we look at an American date that's just like 10th of the 9th, like 2020 or whatever, then like you don't know, is this American and one of them is the month, like which one's the month and which one's the days, because it's less than 12. If it's more than 12, then you get that hint. If it's like 13, then you're like, all right, that has to be the day. Or if this one's 13, then you're like, all right, that has to be the day. But the confusing thing is when it's less than 12. But you see, your way is also excellent, where you just have like this, because there's no other format where these are reversed. And so you can see that like, oh yeah, well, that's definitely the year. And then it just gets, again, it gets less significant. It's fine, like, as long as it's sorted one way or the other. You can't go like largest number, smallest number, middle number. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And we've lost all our US viewers that we, conveniently changed the time to encourage to show up to the happy hour stream. So sorry about that. Back to the PR. They've done a very good job formatting the date. And then I think all of this is just prettier, jumping around and removing spaces and things.
Nice.
We've got obviously a package lock change because we've added a package, and then Day.js has been added. This looks fantastic. We are going to say thank you so much. Need more O's. So, not spooky. So much. This is amazing. And we're going to approve these ones. And we're going to merge it in. You guys happy to merge this pull request?
Yeah, let's measure it. Nice.
I didn't see any crypto mining stuff. Don't think there was any in there. Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you're watching the stream now, or if you're watching the stream later, definitely let us know. Hit me up. Hit me or Tyler or Alaister up on Twitter. And we will hit you up with some swag because that's awesome. And so, yeah, once again, if this is your first time contributing or you never know where to get started with open source or anything like that, this is a fantastic place to get started. And we very much appreciate your contributions. Daniel is joining us saying, "Good day, lads," from, I believe, from Australia. Mad props for the incredible beard. Yeah, it's going well. It's going down the neck as well. It's getting a bit gross. I'll fix this up before next stream. Starting to get that annoying point where like it's too long over the lip, and so it's like you feel it on your lip, and it gets in the way when you're drinking coffee and things. No good. It's got to go.
I'm trimmed mine a little bit over the week.
Ooh. Oh yeah, we need to do the Tyler.
Oh no, let's not do that.
No. All right, fine, I won't do it. Tyler's been growing out his mustache, which is looking very nice. It started with a holiday trip, right? Or like you went to Singapore.
To
hang out with Supabase folks.
Holidays.
Yeah, we should all do Movember in a couple of months. We should all just clean shave it and
let's do it.
We should do it live on the happy hour stream. Watch us shave our faces. All right. We won't be doing that unless someone comes up with some kind of smart razor that's like built with Supabase. Then we'll totally do it. What were we doing on this stream again? Oh yeah, building. Can I sassify it? Can we get sassy?
Yeah,
you can do it, Jon.
Let's get sassy with Stripe.
That was anticlimactic.
I know. I'm even off the screen somewhere else where you can't even see what I'm doing. All right. This is our code base. I will pull in those changes that just happened. I don't think I have any unstaged stuff. No. What am I adding? What is going on? The muscle memory, too strong. You do not need a -r. So I'm just going to pull down from main, and then I'm going to open this up in VS Code. And I guess we will start our development server here. Oh God, it's all broken. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I have not yet installed our new npm packages. And now we can run dev, and because we are using Cloudflare, this is running on port 8787 because it runs a little mini Flare server in the middle. But our application looks something like this, which is very nice. This is beautifully styled by Jason, who did a whole bunch of design PRs. Thank you so much for that. So we have this pricing page. We have a collection of entries. Anything that doesn't have an image associated with it has this picture, this stretched picture of someone with a coffee. Oh wait, no, it's this one that's stretched. One of them stretched. Hey, that's something that someone could fix if they would like to. But yes, we have the concept for this, which you can't really tell from these awful test records, is that we're building a journaling application, so where you can add journal entries for each of your days, and then you can associate some media with it. So we did a stream or a couple of streams, I think, on using Supabase file storage with Remix. And so, we have the ability to upload photos or any kind of files. Actually, it will break if you upload anything else because we're just assuming that it's an image. But you can upload files, and then you can edit this content. You can change any of these fields. You can also create a new entry and add any of these fields. This application is kind of proof that you can SaaSify anything. You can take any kind of concept and then restrict the amount of things that you can do in the application to different payment tiers. So in our case, we are going to restrict these to these different pricing plans here. So being able to add 10 entries on the free plan, being able to add 50 entries on the standard plan, and being able to do unlimited entries on premium. And I think over the last couple of streams, we built out some edge function stuff. So using Supabase edge functions, we created a Stripe customer. So anytime a new user signs into our application, it will go and create a new user in Supabase. And then where we have a trigger listening to that table to then go and create an additional row in a different table so that we can store extra data about the user, like their Stripe ID and things like that. And then that also kicks off an automation to go and run this edge function where the Stripe customer is created, and then that comes back and updates the Supabase column. So lots of automation happening in the background. And then we built out our webhook stuff last week, which I think is where we're up to. So we used this awesome example by Thor, previously DevRel at Stripe, now DevRel at Supabase. So very handy having those two. The Venn diagram is just like two completely overlapping circles. It just looks like one circle. Where any problems that we have with Stripe and Supabase, we can go and hassle Thor. But he put together this awesome example where it uses all of the good stuff to make sure that things are safe. And so it checks the Stripe signature and the Stripe signing secret, and then does all this other stuff to make sure everything's safe. And if we get to this point, then we know that the retrieved event is from Stripe and we can trust it. So then we, I guess in this episode, are going to implement this stuff. So implement this switch statement where we're checking, is the event customer subscription created? Is it customer subscription deleted? Or is it customer subscription updated? The reason that we would get those events is that we're going to allow the user to manage their own subscription using a Stripe customer portal. So that would probably be, I guess, a good place to start, would be enabling actually having a Stripe customer portal in Stripe system. Does that sound like a good place to start?
You don't want to fill in all of those commented out code blocks. You're tempting me. You're showing me this big, you're showing me this big switch statement, and then you're like, forget that. Let's go do something else.
We haven't done anything yet, but it's all right. Let's implement the thing while we're here.
Also, Daniel has asked a question there.
Hey team, any reason you didn't use a database webhook for the Stripe webhooks instead of an edge function? So the reason is because this is us listening to things that are changing on Stripe's side. So this webhook file, is that what you mean, or do you mean for the webhooks? This file is listening rather than broadcasting. So we've got an edge function that we've deployed, which is sitting there listening to requests from the outside world. And so things are changing over in Stripe's system, and then we're receiving an event to say, okay, something updated in Stripe's database, and so you need to go and update your side. And so that's when we are intercepting those requests with this edge function, and we are working out what that event is. So whether the subscription has been created, deleted, or updated, and then we want to go and modify our Supabase side to reflect those changes. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if that is not what you were asking.
Whereas I guess if I add something to that, database webhooks in Supabase is a mechanism for Supabase to fire a webhook to external systems whenever anything changes within the Supabase database. So it works the other way in this case.
Yeah, good clarification. So yeah, we could, I guess technically we could do it the other way, where we could get users to change their subscription in our system, and then we could use database webhooks to go and use the Stripe.js client to update that customer's subscription. But that kind of breaks our whole letting Stripe just manage all of that stuff, because we don't want to manage card information. We don't want to manage subscription stuff. We want to, anytime we're talking about money, we want to just send them off to Stripe and let them deal with it properly. And then Stripe can just let us know, hey, this thing has changed, so go and update your system. So that's what we're doing here. So we are getting a subscription from the retrieved event. So this is our safe event .data.object. So this is a big object that Stripe gives us. So let's actually just console log out our subscription and see what we have, which is the way that you do things if you're not clever enough to just go and read the documentation, because that would probably tell us more quickly. But let's go this way. Let's do console log development, because that's more fun. So we want to probably, I guess we just want to update our status. So we can just purchase one of these different plans. So if we click purchase here, open up the console. Sorry, this was just redirecting us. So we get sent over to that Stripe side. And so this is why we want to use Stripe as well, is because this is nicely designed for us and has all of the information about our different plans and everything nicely presented and feels trustworthy. I think there's just a psychological thing that when you obviously if you're putting in your credit card details, you don't want it to look like unstyled HTML. You want it to feel like this nice responsive dynamic site that's keeping everything safe and has nice animations and things, and Stripe does exactly that. So we're using our test card, which is 4242424242, and if we click subscribe, this is going to run through that flow. So this is going to update Stripe system, and then it's going to send us a webhook to say that something changed. So that information, we missed a step. Which step did we miss?
Deploy.
Deploying. Because this webhook receiving system needs to be running somewhere on the internet, so that something else that's out on the internet can send a request to it. And so by using Supabase Edge functions, this allows us to distribute that globally. So we can deploy our function by saying, can I do reverse search? Supabase. Look at that. There it is. And we added this no verify JWT. Why was that?
Yeah, because by default, Supabase Edge function requires some kind of authentication token, usually ANAN key, to be included in the request coming in. Whereas in this case, we cannot have Stripe add that to the request coming in from them. So we needed a way for Supabase Edge function to just accept any kind of request coming in. Well, at least if it's a post request, then just accept it. And this no verify JWT, no JWT verify.
No verify JWT, that one.
Yeah, flag will basically remove that restrictions where we need to actually include a ANAN key in the request. So yeah,
cool. And I just realized we're doing the same thing in every single one of these cases. So we could probably do this outside of here. And then get rid of this one.
You gotta go up one more. You can't do the switch and then immediately say const.
Oh yeah, of course. Cool. So we have when we have our retrieved event, we can grab out our subscription, which I think will work. Like we've only subscribed to these 3 different events, but I think we always, in fact, AJ could help. Sorry, CJ could help clarify this. That I'm pretty sure always get a data and then an object within there of like the thing that we need to process anytime we get a Stripe event. So yeah, so it should be fine.
If we don't, we'll find out the hard way. So that's fine. Let's deploy it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we're saying Supabase functions deploy Stripe webhooks without no verify JWT. And you'll see that has deployed this, and it hasn't just deployed it to one place. This has deployed it worldwide, which is awesome. So wherever Stripe, I'm not. Well, I'm assuming it's just US East or US West, but wherever our Stripe system is sending that webhook from, it will get a response very, very quickly. So yeah, now we can just test that flow again. So if we go to our application and we go back to our landing page here and we change it to premium, this will kick us off to Stripe and we can click subscribe. And then while that is doing that stuff, let's log into Supabase, because we will need to check the console log from our Supabase dashboard. So if we go to not happy chat, that was our last series. Happy days. Everything's happy on the happy hour stream. If we come over to Edge functions here on the left, we can see our Stripe webhooks. Things are just falling over in this room. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Earthquake in Melbourne.
We can go to logs. And we have this info here, which is dumping out what was in that subscription. So subscription is an object. We have an ID. We have a whole bunch of information about the subscription that's changed. And so one thing that I'm really glad is here that I was worried would not be here. Oh, wait, no, maybe not. We need to know which customer this is for. And so I'm hoping that somewhere we get something that allows us to like link this back to our system.
There is a metadata field in there. We can probably maybe, I don't know which metadata that's on. Like that might be on the subscription. It might be on the charge. It might be.
Yeah. So
but we can pass through metadata when we kick through to Stripe on our checkout thing.
Yeah, so when we create this checkout, I think it's, in the session here. Does this have meta?
We don't have any TypeScript because it's Dino. We haven't set up Dino.
I might need to check the documentation. But we can pass across any kind of arbitrary values here. But I'm wondering whether we do actually just like, because surely this would send across the customer that, because like it knows in that that checkout session who this user is. So I'm sure we would get something. It looks, customer right there. That's the one we need. And that was on this one too. I'm assuming. Customer, right. So this gives us the customer. But if there was any other arbitrary information, like, I mean, if we wanted, we could send across like our Supabase customer ID, our Supabase ID for our user here as metadata. But since we have this kind of like this unique field for Stripe customer ID, we would always be able to look up that particular customer in our Supabase side. So if we have a look at our
Would it be useful as well to, like, what plan information gets sent over? Would it be useful to send that over as metadata, just with like the name, like free premium, like the name we use in our system? Because otherwise we'll have to link up the plan ID to the right plan, right? Unless it sends the name over, in which case those match up. We can just uppercase it and call it a day. But
that's a good idea. We should check that. But yes, we have a Stripe customer ID. Is this actually unique? Is unique. We can enforce that this is unique and that a customer only has one customer ID, Stripe customer ID, which we should have done initially. But now we can look up that person and know that we're only going to get one of our users back for that. But yeah, let's check what we get back in terms of our plan data, because I think we'll only get back the ID, which means, yeah, we could pass it across as metadata. The other option is we could like look it up when we're processing the webhook, but we probably want to do as little work as possible there. We probably want to keep that as light as possible, just because like we just want, we just need to update our system with what we need. It's probably better to not do a whole bunch of lookups and stuff in there. So it looked like we had a plan, but I can't see all of the plan. So what we will do is in our application, when we're processing our webhook, let's console log out. Which one are we doing? We're doing created, I guess. We can say our plan is subscription.plan, just so we can see just that object there. Unless there's a way to open this up further. Do you know, Alaister?
Yell at the functions team. Or maybe this is front-end team, isn't it? Again, everything's front-end team. Yell at the front-end team.
It's back on you.
No, I don't know any of them, I'll be honest.
All right. All right, so we're going to just print out our subscription.plan, which is just going to be this object here, so we can have a look at it. So to do that, again, we're going to need to deploy this. And then we're going to have to come back over to our application, go back to our landing page, and assuming that's done now, we can just click purchase. And then
CJ says Stripe dashboard shows everything.
Very good call. This is why we love having you here, CJ. You should join us every week. Although then we won't be able to do it every week because we'll just get everything implemented too quickly. I like just hanging out with you guys and going through it very slowly, painfully slowly. Hopefully everyone else enjoys that as well. Okay, so if we go to developers and then webhooks and then look at our webhook, so this is us setting up a webhook on Stripe side, which is saying these are the events that we actually care about. So we listed out these three events, so subscription created, deleted, and updated. And if we have a look, this is what we're getting sent across from Stripe. So we can check our plan. Wouldn't have worked anyway because it was inside an items key. So we would have, and then inside data and then plan. So that would have taken us some time. This is much faster. So we get a product ID, which again, if you're watching a previous stream, we needed to kind of like stitch together our own object for what we were, I think it was in, where was it? I think it was when we were creating a session. So this would have been one of our things. Do you remember where that was? What were we doing? We were
session.
What are you trying to do, Jon?
What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get to where we put together our own object from prices and products. This bit, yeah. So when we grabbed all of our different, when we're trying to grab our plans from Stripe, our plan had, our price had the ID and the unit amount and the currency, but we didn't have the product name. So we needed to go and look up the associated product. And so it looks like we could do that with our product ID here. We could go and look up the additional information to find the name of our product. But other than that, I don't think we get the name. We get the interval, get the fact that it's recurring. We get like everything else. Oh no, plan. Monthly $4.99. Oh, we're so close. Man, we get heaps. But I don't think we get the name of our plan. So we don't get the like premium or
CJ has another hint for us, or clue.
So yeah, we have the plan ID. But we're not storing that in our Supabase side. I'm just trying to think, because what we have in Supabase, if we have a look here, when we are updating this, we would be updating our subscription tier. We could do it based off the price if we wanted to hard code that data, or we could pass it across as metadata.
I think if the metadata comes across, I think I prefer the metadata.
All right, let's check whether the metadata comes across. Yeah, because I don't think we get it anywhere here.
We're not passing any metadata yet, so maybe before we start looking in here, we'll just pass some metadata when we check out. It can be anything random.
So
it is just an object called metadata.
I'm just going to do this and hope it works. It'll work. So we can do what do we actually have in scope here? We have again, we only have our plan ID. We don't actually have our plan, but we could do the lookup here when we're creating the session, which is probably a better place to go and grab that data rather than doing it in our when we're processing the webhook. So let's do that. So this is what we need to do. We need to go and grab a product from Stripe. So we could do that just before we do this stuff. So stripe.products.retrieve, and then we're stringifying our price.product. So this would be our oh wait, we only have a plan ID. Oh, we're gonna have to do two lookups.
No, I think the plan ID is actually secretly a price ID that we just named badly. So let's just try.
I like it. And let's just maybe console log this out.
CJ with more hints. Put the metadata under the subscription data prop. Yeah, metadata at the top level puts it on the checkout session. Makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, right. So we want to put it in here in our subscription data. We can have metadata. I guess we could just say like test equals true before we go and do all this other stuff. And then if we deploy this one, so this would be our create Stripe checkout. Create Stripe checkout. And then once that's deployed, if we go through this process again, so we'll just go back to our landing page and we'll purchase this one. Man, this test customer is going to get charged so much money every month with our like 800 subscriptions that we've created for them.
Did everything break?
Clicked the button.
Hooray, cause!
Yay! Cause. Why is cause a problem again? All right, what did we break? This should be fine because this is responding with that options request. So maybe because
normal
now
request responding with the normal request responding with cause headers as well. not just the options, like at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm wondering whether we now have an extra header.
Why would we have an extra header?
Because we're passing through metadata. I'm just wondering whether that is setting something. No, that wouldn't be setting it. That would be in the body. If we take this away and just redeploy the same function, what if we broke it? Create Stripe checkout.
Did we pass any other flags or anything? We didn't, right, when we deployed it?
No, I don't think so.
Not for this one.
Whoops, not get started.
Oh, maybe it's erroring, so it's not sending the calls headers back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Internal
makes sense.
server error. That makes much more sense. Okay, so, but why is it erroring now? If
it's going to be that stuff.
This.
Yeah.
So let's put our metadata back. And deploy our function. And then let's go back to here and refresh just in case and click purchase. And now we'll get redirected to the Stripe checkout flow. And so now if we subscribe, then we come over to Stripe and we refresh to get our latest events. We should see this one at 11:02, which is just right now for us or for me in Australia. So we have our subscription object, and then in there we maybe have metadata. Metadata, hello, true, awesome. Okay, cool. So we can pass across anything we want there. So I wonder why this was having an issue. Would we have, so we only have the plan ID. So yeah, we want to pass across the product. So stripe.products.retrieve plan ID. If we make this not wrapped in that. And then we just want to console log out our product. Or maybe we could just attach our product to here so we can see it. And let's see if this breaks cause again. But while that's actually deploying, what we could check is, do we get that information on Supabase's side as to what the error was? Oops, not that.
Yeah, CJ's again helping in solving all our problems. That ID is probably a price ID, not a product ID. So we need to do a prices retrieve.
Okay.
In fact,
maybe that's the error, is that we don't actually have a
product retrieve.
No such product is the exact error that we're getting. Right. Okay. So we need to look up.
And the ID starts with price. So chances are it's a price ID.
That's a good hint. All right. So we want to say const price equals stripe.prices.retrieve plan ID, and then we get a price, and then we want to go price.product, so the associated product with that price. We want to look up the full product, because we only get a product ID, so price.product is set to the ID, and we want to go and look up the associated product so that we can get the product name, because the product name is not on the price object, but it will be on the product. The name will be on the product. All right, let's deploy Stripe again. We're getting close. I know it feels like we're not getting close. I know it feels like we're halfway through the stream and we haven't got anywhere, but we are getting somewhere. We will get to Stripe customer portals by the end of this episode. All right. So if we go back to here and we click purchase. Nah, it's working. It's totally working. No, it's not working. All right. So if we go over to our edge function and refresh, should see a new error. says invalid value type. So this is us console logging out our product that we get back. Okay, why is this an invalid type then? Because we are getting our product back. Must be a string. Is that string thing that I took away?
I don't think so.
No, because we're getting back our product. So we're getting to here, and then we're console logging this. So maybe...
Oh, the metadata you're putting, yeah, you can't put an
Oh.
object in metadata. You just have to put the product dot, yeah, is it name? What was it called in Stripe? Or not Stripe, the logs. Was it name?
So our product dot name is premium. So yes, this is
And can we uppercase that just to make it match our database?
We're
doing all the work in here. Nice.
I hate that it's capital C. All right, so let's do that. So we are getting our price. We're then going and looking up the associated product. And then here we are passing across metadata for our product, and we're just grabbing the product name. We're making it uppercase so that it matches our enum in our user data table. So this one is either free or premium or basic, I think. Standard.
Standard.
All right, so that is deployed. So now if we click purchase on our premium one and go through this flow, and then we have a look at our Stripe webhooks and refresh. If we have a look at, I think we were just doing this work for created, I think. No, that doesn't make sense. Sorry, we were doing it the other one. We're good. Created has some metadata with a product set to premium. Beautiful. And if we just test the other cases while we're here, just to make sure that we have done all the code correctly, if we purchase standard, and if we also purchase a free, and then we go and refresh our logs here, and we look at the last three createds. So if we look at this created, it's set to premium, all uppercase. If we look at this one, it should be set to standard, all uppercase. And if we check this one, it should be free, all uppercase. Awesome. Okay, cool. So now we have this metadata product name, and that is coming through. I'll just clean this up, remove the console log, redeploy. And if we go back over to here, no, not here. Our Stripe webhooks. So this is where we are console logging out our plan level for created. So we could probably, since we're just dealing with subscriptions, actually no, because the metadata won't be there for deleted. So in here, we're going to say const product name can be set to subscription.metadata.product. And now we just need to update Supabase, right?
Think so.
I think so. That's what we're doing, right? We're syncing the Stripe to our own thing. So
yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what we were doing. So
just
yeah,
reminding myself.
Do we actually have Supabase yet? We've just pulled it in from utils, but I don't think that's right. We need to create a Stripe client. And we want to create it with the service role because this is us. Again, it's like a server-side action that's just going and updating our database and keeping things in sync. So because this isn't happening based on like a user action, we're not performing this task on behalf of the user. So we're not going to use the a non-key. We're going to use the service role key, which is just basically bypasses RLS and gives us direct access to do whatever we want to do.
Here's a pickup. Daniel has a question. If the customer changes their subscription to use a different product, won't this break?
No, so this is exactly what we're trying to wire up at the moment. By listening to these webhooks, it means that the customer can do whatever they want. And anytime we receive these events, that's when we're going to update our database. So when we create a customer portal, which we'll totally get to, we'll totally do a customer portal, then the user can change their subscription status. So what we haven't implemented yet that we will implement is that they won't be able to keep buying a subscription. At the moment, they have, our test customer probably has hundreds of subscriptions now. So they won't be able to buy multiple subscriptions. If they already have a subscription, then by clicking, we'll change the button to say manage subscription or something like that rather than purchase. And then they'll be able to go and change whatever they want on Stripe's side. And then this webhook is what we're using to keep everything in sync, or this webhook listening file is what we're using to keep everything
in sync.
You
might have a point though, because we can't, when on the customer portal, we can't pass through the metadata when they change their plan, right? So maybe we should move the lookup of the plan name into the webhook.
Yeah, of course. Daniel, you're completely right. What I was just rambling about is incorrect. Yeah, good point. We won't be getting that from Stripe. And I don't think we pass across.
It's fine. We've written that logic to look up the Stripe plan price thingy, whatever it's called. By the way, thank you, CJ. Have a good time.
Oh yeah, thank you.
But
CJ's.
Yeah, we can just move that logic into webhook and then look up via the ID that comes from the event, the subscription event with the new price on it.
Good call. So we are going to move this stuff across to our webhook. So this will be down here once we decide that we do have a subscription. Then we want to go and look up based on our, I guess we need to pull out the plan ID, don't we? Actually, we can pull out the product ID directly. So we can actually get rid of one of these calls. We don't need to go and look up the price, because I think if we have a look at the shape of one, I think we had data object, and then in there we had a items, which has a price. But we also have our plan. So we have a plan ID, which has the price. So let's do that. So let's go subscription. Oh, wait, no, that's our plan. Sorry, we want our product. But we also have that. So we have plan dot product is our product.
Plan dot product. Okay, nice.
So we want subscription dot plan dot product. And then we don't need to go and look up the price, and we just need to spell subscription correctly. So then we would have our product. So then we wouldn't need to do this here. And this is malformed nonsense. So at this point, we would have our product. And so, yeah, so then we could just update Supabase from here. So yes, let's go await Supabase dot from our user data table. We want to update the Stripe subscription ID. I don't think it's called Stripe subscription ID, but Copilot's getting very close. It is called, oh yeah, we're not updating that. We're updating the subscription tier. Subscription tier to be our product dot name dot to uppercase. And we want to do that where there is a match on ID. which we need to set to our customer ID. So this is where we can use our, instead of matching on the ID of our user data, we can match on their Stripe customer ID, because this is now a unique value.
Nice.
So we know that this this is unique for this one row. So we can say a match where Stripe customer ID equals our subscription customer. Okay, that should work, right? Yeah, that'll work.
So.
And we can probably, just assume this is going to work and paste this same logic for if they are updated. And yeah, let's see if that works. So we're going to deploy our Stripe Webhooks function, but we're also going to deploy our create Stripe checkout function, because we have removed all of that stuff from here. We've removed passing across that metadata. I don't think we changed anything else here. Whoops, sorry. So let's deploy our create Stripe checkout. And then everything should magically work. So that has deployed. So now if we were to purchase our premium plan, we should actually check that this customer, they're already on premium. Let's go back and do the standard plan. So this should update that field from premium to standard. So if we subscribe, so now this will have sent, broadcast that webhook, and then we're listening for that webhook, and then we're going and updating our Supabase side. So if we refresh.
Oh, you didn't use the refresh button.
Oh, sorry, Alaister.
Upset.
Standard.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So that is all wired up and working. Awesome. So something that we will notice here, though, is that if we go to our edge functions and Stripe webhooks and look at invocations, actually look at logs, we received one subscription here for the object is subscription. Does this tell us what the event was? I'm sure it does. Subscription item, subscription sub. Somewhere we should be able to see whether it's created. I'm sure it's in the rest of the object. Actually, we look at it. Stripe webhooks. This is totally where we should have been looking. Because we can see right here that we received at 11:17 an event for updated, and we also received an event for created. So if we have a think about how this is working, if we receive created or we receive updated, we're going and updating Supabase to set their subscription tier. So we're actually doing this once for created and then once for updated. And so we're doing it an extra time for no reason. So we don't actually need to do this first one. Also, we should have a break at the end here, but we don't need to be doing it for this one because updated gets triggered both for creating a new subscription and also updating that subscription. So I guess the three kind of states that we're listening for are when they click that subscribe button and they create a new subscription. The second one is if they go through the customer portal and modify their subscription, then we want to listen for this updated. And then the third case is that they cancel their subscription and then the event doesn't get broadcast at the point where they cancel their subscription because they've already paid for the rest of the month. So the event might get sent at the end of the month when that subscription actually expires. And so that's this customer subscription deleted. So these are the only two events that we actually need to listen for because created gets triggered at the same, or updated that gets triggered when we create a new one. Hopefully that makes sense, but we don't need to process this twice. We don't need to go and update Supabase twice. We can just listen for updated. So now this should actually work for our customer portal stuff. So let's go and enable a customer portal. We're going to do it quickly. All right. So I need to remember how to do it. I think we go to more, and then somewhere in here there is...
or do you need to enable it or something? I can't remember.
Or maybe under customers. No, more.
It's just like, what if you just try and call stripe.billingportal.sessions.create and see what happens?
I think that will... Oh, no, yeah. No, we need to... I'm pretty sure we need to enable it on Stripe side.
I'm just hoping, like, I'm trusting in the Stripe error messages that it will yell at us and tell us we need to enable it, and then give us a link to where to enable it. Stripe billing, I think, is what it's called, right? If you just search for billing at the top.
Billing, up here. Billing.
Yeah, why not? Settings,
customer
billing.
Portal. So that's how you find it. You go
why don't we just search for Customer Portal?
Oh yeah, Customer Portal. Under billing. This is what we want. But yes, you're right. The error. Should we check the error? No, let's just enable it. So we want to configure a Stripe portal. So we need to, obviously we don't want to just like by default people be able to modify their subscriptions without us setting up the infrastructure to be able to like handle that on our side. So Stripe doesn't enable this by default. You need to go through and tell it what you actually want the users to be able to do in that portal. Does this? Yeah, okay, cool. So we want our users to be able to view their invoice history, update the billing information. That's all fine. We want them to be able to update their payment methods. So we want them to be able to like change their credit card details. We're not dealing with promo codes here, but we could enable that if we wanted to. We want to allow our customers to cancel subscriptions. So as I was saying before, we'll set that to cancel at the end of the billing period. So then they can like still use their subscription for the rest of the time that they've paid for. Otherwise you can do cancel immediately, and then that allows you to like process a refund for the remaining money. But yeah, I think this is pretty standard to see it out to the end of the month. And then we don't really care about a cancellation reason. So let's do that. But we want them to be able to update subscriptions. So we want them to be able to switch to different pricing plans. We're not dealing with quantities, so we won't worry about this one. And then prorate subscription updates. So I think that's that same thing where, yeah, the credit for the time remaining is applied on their next invoice. Maybe issue invoice at end of billing period. Anyway, what we need to, the thing that we care about is basically like defining the list of different plans that, or different prices, products that they're able to switch between. So we want them to be able to switch between free, standard, and premium. What happened here? We got two standards. Let's remove pricing plan. We've broken everything.
Uh-oh.
And we press cancel, and we start again, and we say we want them to be able to, we don't care about a cancellation reason, but we want them to be able to switch their plans, and we want them to be, no, not quantities. We don't have quantities. All right, the plans. We're going to go with free, we're going to go with standard, and we're going to go with premium. And I did it again. Ooh, I think there might be a bug, CJ. But that is fine. You don't need to fix it live on our stream. Sorry, what were you saying, Tyler?
No, CJ's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's disconnected.
Yeah.
Oh, he has actually gone. I thought you were joking. He really did have to run. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure it will resolve itself. So yeah, we can customize a bunch of stuff. Something that we do need is a link to our terms of service and a link to our privacy policy. And so this is because we're dealing with money. We need to have, sorry?
If empty, account details will be used instead. That's fine, right?
Perfect. I didn't know that was a thing. When I put together my SaaS course, I went and used something called Termly. which just allows you to like create. It's like business compliance stuff, and so it allowed me to just like create a standard policy. So yes, that's great if we can just fall back to the account details. Because we don't have lawyers employed at our Happy Chat organization, and so we don't want to put in the wrong thing there and be misleading. So default redirect link, so we can choose where we want to redirect the user after they have updated this information. So we could say, I guess we want to update. We want to redirect them to. Oh, we don't have a dashboard, do we?
Homepage.
Yeah.
Homepage it is. Let's just say localhost over port 3000. That's not right. 8787 slash. Just that. Go to the homepage. Maybe we'll build a dashboard at some point so that they can actually see their subscription data and see that that's changed. But for now, we'll redirect them to the landing page, which is our pricing page essentially. So they'll be able to see that the button has changed, and they can now manage their subscription instead of buying a new subscription. We've lost Tyler's video. I'm assuming something has happened. Problem. Must be a valid URL. HTTP, it does contain HTTP. Localhost not okay?
Probably localhost not okay. Maybe it doesn't like the port. I don't know. Do you have to specify a default redirect URL, or can we just do it at the time of? No.
We don't have to. So when we actually go to deploying this, when we put this in prod, then we can set up proper redirects to the appropriate places. But for now, we're just running on localhost, and it doesn't like that. So that should be all good. So now what we need to do is we need to trigger a Stripe billing customer portal like we did our checkout session. So we can probably just copy a whole bunch of this stuff, I reckon. But we will need to create a new function, which would be like Supabase functions create. Look at that. So we want to create one for Stripe customer portal. Damn, it's new. You know, when you do the reverse search through your history, and then you just keep running the same wrong commands because the mistake is you. All right. We have this customer portal, and now we want to copy across most of our checkout session stuff. So we put this in here. No. Customer portal. This one. And then look at what we need to change. So we want to create a new Stripe client. We do need to create a new Supabase client because we need to look up who our user is, because I think we need to do that exact same thing. So
yeah, we need the Stripe customer ID.
Yeah. As a refresher, in case you either weren't with us previously or you don't remember weeks ago or every line of code that we wrote, what this function does is we first check what the method of the function is. So if it's when we send a post request, the browser first sends an options request to see whether it's worth sending the post request. I don't know if that's completely right, but that's what we're going with. And so to avoid cause errors, we're sending back a response immediately saying, yep, we allow any origin, and these are the headers that you're allowed to send. So then if it gets past this point, then it means that we're in our post request rather than our options request. So here we are pulling out our plan ID from request.json. So that won't be a thing, right? We won't be...
I don't think... Do we need a body?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. All right. But we need to get the token from our headers. So this will automatically get sent across because we're going to call this function. We're going to call this this edge function from our Remix application. So we're going to use the Supabase client library to invoke this edge function. And so that will automatically attach these headers. And so we attach an authorization header so that we can see who the user is that's making this request. So then we can, from that authorization token, we can then pull out the user. So we say supabase.auth.api.getUser. That's going to give us back our Supabase user. And then if we don't have a Supabase user, then we want to throw an error because we don't want to continue on from this point. It means that, someone's trying to hack something. Someone's trying to hack the planet. We need to stop them. We then need to work out which Stripe customer ID is associated with this Supabase user. So then we're looking up from our user data table. We're looking up the Stripe customer ID where the ID matches our user ID. So we're essentially just going off to this table, user data, and we're looking up this Stripe customer ID. And we're chaining on .single, which instead of getting an array with one record in it, we just get the actual record itself. And so then we want to create a new Stripe session. So this is where we probably want to say Stripe dot was it billing? I think it's
billing portal. Yeah,
cool.
You got it.
Dot sessions dot create. So we create a new session, and then it doesn't need all of this stuff because this is all about processing a credit card thing. In this case, we're just sending them off to Stripe to say go and look at your account on Stripe. You can go and manage whatever you want. And so it just needs to know who the customer is. So our customer is going to be this Stripe customer ID here that we got back. That we got back from Supabase. And then we also need to tell it I think we need to tell it a return URL. I think.
Two things, customer and return URL, and you're good.
And so this one can be localhost 187. And again, we'll just go back to the landing page, and we can make a dashboard or something later if we would like here. And so then we have this session. And so rather than sending back the ID for this session, we send back a URL set to session.url. And then this is a URL that we can then redirect to. So this edge function is going to be called by clicking a button. So we need to go and implement that button in our landing page. So have we implemented, just going to make sure we're actually on the landing page here. So app routes and then index.tsx. So we haven't actually implemented our with auth stuff here. So we don't know who our user is yet, I don't think. Because I'm just thinking we are going to be, we have a button for each of our plans here on our landing page. Each of these plans have a purchase button. So it would be good if the user has already purchased a plan to swap this out for a manage subscription button or something like that.
All right. Well, I reckon just whack a button on just about on the get started just to test that we set that up first, and then we'll, do that.
Good idea. Let's not tackle all of that stuff right now. So next to our get started, we're going to put a button, and this button is going to be manage subscription. And then when we click this button, we're going to call handle subscription. Subscription, cool. And then we want to create a new function called handle subscription, which is an async function. Which is going to handle our subscription. So what we want to do we've already got a handle subscription.
This is handle billing portal thingy.
Manage.
Yeah, perfect. I love your camera, Tyler. Today is the day of technical difficulties. It was me and Jon before the stream, and now Tyler's.
We were saying
Tyler's
that it was
the one that doesn't.
Yeah, no. I think the problem is I need to get a dummy battery for the camera, I think.
I have that.
Yeah.
I had that exact issue.
I think it's just going to keep on dying on me.
Do you not have a USB cable?
I do have a USB cable plugged in. Maybe it's not plugged in.
Peter is saying Supabase is an outrageously good service. Yes, we agree. We like
Our unbiased opinion is yes, it is great.
Yeah, that's right. And if you also think that Supabase is an outrageously good service and have also received some emails from Heroku saying that they're getting rid of their free plan, you should head on over to migrate.supabase.com and migrate your free plan across to a free Supabase plan, because Heroku doesn't want to support free plans anymore, but we love supporting free plans. So come on over, because as Peter said, Supabase is an outrageously good service. All right. And our sponsorship ad is over now, and we will go back to here. So we're handling our managed subscription. So this is calling this function. And so in this function, we just need to do, I guess it's just similar to what we did here. So we're just calling our edge function. And we're not passing across a body because we don't need to worry about that. And we're calling create. I don't think it even was create. I think it was just Stripe. Customer portal. And we get back data and error. And so like we had up here, we were grabbing the ID. And so we're returning a URL. And so we want to pull out data.url. And I think we just want to, I guess, redirect to that, right? But I don't think we do like a Stripe.redirect here. Let's see. Oh yeah, because this is redirecting to checkout. And so we're not actually redirecting to a checkout session. And I don't think Stripe has a redirect to customer portal. I think. Anyway, we're getting given back a URL. So that's like any URL, we can just redirect. We can just use our router to redirect to that. So how do we get a router in Remix?
No, it's the Remix. You're not in the loader, right? You're
not in the loader, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I get a router in here? Do I use router?
Why do you need a router? You just do window.location.href equals whatever it is. And that works, works great.
Yeah. Well, window won't exist on first render, but that shouldn't matter, right?
Sure it will. It's not being called on the server. It's a function. It's all good.
Exactly. The definition is being called, but not the... yeah. It'll be fine. Window.location.href, we're redirecting to data.url. And like we did up here, if we have an error, we should probably console.error it out and not run our redirect. Doesn't this make you unhappy in like where you have an actual router?
No, but like in my mind, the router is like for the internal app, right? And so because we're going off to another website, this feels fine to me. I'm not upset at all.
I agree as well.
I'm probably more upset if you use the router here to like navigate to an external URL, because I'm like, that's not part of the router.
All right, like... weigh in on the comments. See if you're on Tyler.
How does everyone feel about it? Yeah.
It feels gross to me, but that's fine. Your justification seems valid. I accept that. All right, so handling our managed subscription, we are using Supabase to invoke our edge function. The edge function we want to invoke is Stripe Customer Portal. And then if we have an error, we're console logging it out. Otherwise, we are redirecting to our data.url. And so that's the URL that has been set up for our Stripe session, our billing portal session. So this should be all good. I'm a little worried about our unsaved changes over here. In our, all right, that was us removing create. Cool. So we're going to redeploy.
Peter agrees with us.
Yes, Peter.
Yep.
Let's go.
Window.location is the way. Fine. All right. You win. We want to, what was that deploy one? Deploy. And we want to deploy our Stripe portal, and we don't need to do the no verify because this is being called by Supabase. So all of that authorization header stuff is being attached automatically for us. So this looks like it's bugging out weirdly, but I'm sure it's deploying properly, and I'm sure it will tell us when it's done. So why aren't we actually seeing that button? We are seeing that button. All right, cool.
Beautiful.
Might just quit whatever's going on here. Oh, it looks like it did finish. It's just not updating the UI. Let's just deploy it again. And we might also want to deploy our Stripe webhooks, just because I did remove a chunk of it. All right, but we have our Stripe customer portal deployed, so we can click Manage Subscription, and this should be running our Edge function and going and working out who our logged in user is, and then redirecting us to the Stripe billing portal. And so this is what the billing portal looks like. And you can see that
Nice.
our customer has way too many current plans. If we view more, we can see that they have an outrageous number of plans. And they're paying us. Oh, there's even view more. There's so many pages of plans that this user has. And so obviously it wouldn't look like this for our real users. We would only let them have one plan. But here we can update or cancel any of our plans. We have our payment information, our billing information, our invoice history. So yeah, this is a really nice UI that gives the user kind of all of their information from Stripe that they can then do whatever they want with. So if they want to update their standard plan, so this is the most recent standard plan, they can see the different plans that they want to upgrade to. And so if we were to upgrade to the premium plan, it's going to tell them how much more it's going to cost. So it does all of that calculating for us to work out that the previous plan was $4.99, or whatever the previous plan was. And so you're just paying the difference to go up to $9.99. I think it's working that out, right? Yeah. So the previous prorated credit from standard is $4.99, and then the charge for premium $9.98. And so the total is $4.99. Sure. Let's confirm that. So we've now changed our plan from standard up to premium. And so now if we go and have a look at the webhooks that were triggered. Actually, we can just check our user data directly and see.
Refresh button, John, every time.
Oh, sorry. It's muscle memory. Any site that I'm on to just refresh like that. This still says standard. So something has gone wrong. Feels like I was setting up for this to happen, so I would have an answer as to why it happened, but something has gone wrong. So
did we not get an updated event there? Oh, it's because of your setting. I know. Yeah, missing author is that's weird. But maybe not. I don't know. But I was thinking it's because you set it to upgrade at the end of the month and not upgrade immediately in the billing portal settings, which would make sense, right? But
I thought that was a cancellation.
I know what the problem is. Yeah, that was for cancellation, that it doesn't.
You deployed with no verified JWT?
Yeah. Because I just blindly said, I'm just going to deploy this Stripe webhooks one again. But what we needed was the -- no verified JWT, because remember, this isn't being called by Supabase, which attaches all of that wonderful authorization header stuff. This is being called by Stripe anytime something in their database changes. So they're not passing across that authorization header. So when we're deploying the function, we need to say this specific function doesn't need to be, they don't need to pass across the authorization header. They don't need to be a Supabase user. This is just some webhook that something out there is going to call. And now, if we refresh here and maybe, I guess we could update our free plan to a premium plan. And then we confirm that that's how much we want to pay. Then this will go through Stripe system, push out a webhook. And then if we click refresh here and not refresh the whole page, we'll see that that's changed to premium. Awesome.
Sweet.
So that is all working perfectly. So now our users can manage their subscription. And then once they're done with that, they want to return to our Happy Days app. They just click return to Happy Days and they're back on where we decided to redirect them to. Awesome. So we probably have enough time.
Cancel plan?
Well, you can cancel it from inside here. So if you go to your manager,
you mean it doesn't
let's check it.
Downgrade, right? It doesn't downgrade
No.
to free.
So if we're not actually doing anything yet, are we?
That's what I mean. That's a nice, like, rounded. All the update stuff works. If they delete their subscription, we just set it to a free. I mean, like, we can probably just wing that logic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just grab one of these, do something like this. From user data, we want to update the subscription tier to. We actually would get the pro.
I don't think we will. Well, we might get the product that they're canceling from, but yeah, we just want to set them to free if they cancel. Makes sense.
So will this 500, you reckon?
We can move it into the other one just to be safe because we've only got the one update method.
So yeah, the reason we were doing
nice.
it before was because we had to. Right. Good call. And we can probably get rid of these console logs. So we'll still have a subscription because that's what. Yeah, that's the type of the event, and we're just saying that to be the data object that we get back. So we'll still get a data object for the subscription, but we don't actually care about it for deleted. We can just blindly update Supabase where the Stripe customer ID matches the subscription.customer. Yeah, so we do need to grab out that subscription because we need to know which customer is actually doing this. So we can redeploy our Stripe webhooks function with that no verify JWT flag set. And then, yeah, we wouldn't even need to refresh or go back through that. We can just trigger things from our Happy Days app. And to be consistent with our tech problems, my trackpad has just died. I no longer have a mouse and I'm using a laptop, but it's closed and far away because I use it like a desktop. So I'm just going to turn this off and back on again and see if we get mouse. And we don't, of course.
No, you're just going to have to, use entirely the keyboard. We'll see how, accessible
we'll see how
all the websites are.
How accessible it is. It's a good idea. No, I've got a charger, so I've just plugged that in. All right, we have mouse back. So we're going to take our premium subscription and we're going to cancel it. So when we cancel our plan, it's telling us here that it'll be canceled but available until the end of the month. So this is what we set up before. So even when we click cancel, we might think, oh yeah, cool, that customer has now canceled their plan. So if I go over to Supabase and click the refresh button, their subscription should go from premium to free. But because it doesn't get processed until the end of the month, we need to now leave the stream running until the end of the month and then see what happens.
We'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
Time.
We'll add a comment to this video and no, of course we don't need to do that. We're developers. We can just go in through the back end. So if we go to developers and then, customers, and then look at our customer, and then they should have one.
At the top, you scroll right past it.
Cancelled. We have this one subscription here that's cancelled. And so we can click these three dots and we can say cancel now, just to test this workflow and see what would happen. So right now we're simulating like getting to the end of the month and then this webhook gets triggered at some point whenever Stripe says, hey, this customer is, their subscription has now expired. They should no longer have access to the things. So when we click this, that's that event that's happened a month down the line. And now if we go here and we click refresh, free.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Sweet.
And so all of our like 3 states work. So if we go and subscribe to a new plan, so if we say we want the premium plan, and it goes off to Stripe and the customer pays for this, so this is a new plan that they are subscribing to. Once that's all processed, if we go and refresh Supabase, we should see that this customer's plan flips to premium. And then if the customer then goes, okay, cool, I've been really enjoying the products here, but I haven't actually entered more than 45 entries, and I don't think I will get past 50. So I'm going to downgrade my plan to standard. And so they click manage subscription, and then they go through this flow and they say, all right, I want to update my plan for premium. I want to downgrade it to the standard plan. And then I'm going to confirm that. So I don't need to pay anything today, but next month I'll get charged at that new amount. And then if we click the refresh button here, premium should flip to standard, which it does. And then if they were like, okay, I am done with this, I am not getting the value that I thought I would, I don't actually want to journal every day, and I definitely don't want to journal 50 days in a row, I'm just going to cancel my plan and just go back to my 10 entries. And so at the end of the month, this will then trigger that same thing where if I refresh here, I should see our canceled plan. And then I can say, all right, let's simulate the end of the month. So let's cancel this. And now if we click the refresh button, our user should go back to free, and it works. We implemented
Very
customer
nice.
portals.
Sweet.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Indeed.
Should we wrap it up there, or should we leave this for a community to do, or should we to do it now?
If you can do it
In my
in 9
mind-
minutes,
We can do it in 9 minutes.
We started 5 minutes late, so we can go over 5 minutes, I think.
Totally.
Right?
Exactly. All right. So what we need to do here is over in our routes index.tsx. So we just added a button here to manage subscription, but we probably want to dynamically change the text that's in all of our buttons to, instead of being purchased, being managed subscription. Yeah, there could be other nicer UX ways to do this. We could have a dashboard and all of that stuff, but for now, we're just going to do it here in this page. So we need to know who the user is. So the first, actually, we have that because we're in the front end, so we can just
can
query.
we get the user data from Supabase, like that table, because that contains the subscription, right? That was the plan. If in our loader, if we just run a good old query, grab that out.
Okay, yeah, that's a better way to do it, because then, yeah, even, yeah, that's a better way to do it. All right, so up here where we have our loader, if we go and have a look at one of our entries pages, because an entry assumes that we have a user, we've wrapped this in this with auth function here. So we're going to take that and we're going to wrap our index page in with auth, and we're going to close that down here. And did we set up an additional thing? That thing that we said that we would set up?
I have like memory of talking about it, but did we actually do it?
What we're alluding to is that with auth originally enforced that the user was logged in. So, oh no, it looks like it still does.
It totally does. Wow.
Maybe we won't implement this in the amount of time. So this is forcing us to have a user. So if the user is not, if we don't have a user, then it's going to force a redirect to the login page, which is probably not what we want. So we're going to pass across an additional argument with auth return type. With auth, what is this? Who built this?
It's fine. It's just function args. After that, and then with auth, with auth return type, you put a comma right after with auth return type, and then you put your options object or like just even a Boolean, whatever you want to do, right there.
Here,
maybe. You have to make it an object and then type the object. So, yes, it's just required or whatever you want to call it. No, we're not doing handlebars. And then outside of the object, colon another object, and then required Boolean.
Of course. What was I thinking?
What were you thinking, Jon?
Required is a Boolean. So this is our type. And then required, we're going to say required equals true. So the default is just that it will redirect us. And
then also you can set after the second object, the type object, you can say equals an empty object, which will make the whole thing right at the end, which will make the whole thing optional. So it won't break our existing API. You have to put a question mark after required Boolean. I mean, yeah, there's somewhere. There we go. TypeScript. We know what we're doing.
Yeah. This looks very clear and easy to pass for other developers that want to come and look at this. So the thing that's forcing a redirect here is we're looking up who the user is, and then if we don't have a user, then we're redirecting to login. And so here we could say, well, if we don't have a user and required is set to true, then we want to redirect. But if we don't, then there's this.
Just wrap that in if user set access token.
And then, if we have a user, then we want to wrap. Then we want to set the context for, right, we need to do all of this. Okay. Do we need to do all of this?
Can we change the return type?
Yeah, Tyler's right.
Sorry?
Make user optional. So take that outside of the if statement and so put it back, like the way it used to be, and then scroll up and edit the return type of this function to make the user optional, which,
Cool. And the Supabase client optional.
No, we can pass through the Supabase client every time. It just won't be authenticated, which is fine. And I think make it user, instead of optional, make it or null.
I think single.
TypeScript.
User or null. So then here the user would be null or undefined.
Great. Good times.
Sick.
We would have broken all the other places we use auth because we've made it less strict, as in we've made it optional now, like or null. So we probably should go through and just add a little question mark everywhere.
That's why everything's red.
It's just the entry stuff, right?
Yeah. So with auth, why is this one red? Cannot find with auth because we haven't imported it. That's a different problem. All right, cool. So this one, what we need to do is because we want auth to be, we want required to be false. So we pass it an additional object and we set required to be false because otherwise required will automatically be true. And so the reason that we're doing this is because if someone lands on our landing page for our application, we still want to be able to advertise our plans to them. We still want them to be able to see what our pricing for our application is and kind of have we want them to be able to see the landing page even if they haven't logged in yet. And then if they decide that this is a worthwhile application for them to sign into, then they can sign in and create an account and go through all of that flow. But if we just wrapped this in with auth, then it would automatically redirect them to the login page as soon as they try and view the landing page. And so that's probably not a very good user experience for someone who's just landing on our site for the first time being like, oh, is this a product that I want to subscribe to? And then they're automatically redirected to login before they can even see any information about it. That's not a very nice experience. So by setting with auth required false, we're saying that the user can still see this page without being logged in. And then in here, we can check if they are logged in, then we want to change, or if they're, we'll need to look up their subscription status as well. But so let's go fix the other stuff. So the entry stuff, anything that's using with auth. So let's do a find for with auth. Actually, we can do this one. so we can see where we're calling it. So here, anytime
instead of using a question mark, we'll use an exclamation mark, because we do actually know there will be a user here, because required is set to true by default. And like you can type this properly. It's just you need to use some crazy generic stuff, and who even knows what's happening. TypeScript is its own language.
Love it. All right, cool. So everywhere else should be all good because we're not actually using the user. Awesome. So the only place that we need to actually add some stuff is here. So we want to check if we actually have a user. So this function now gets past our user. Whoa, not our big user, our small user. And then we're going and getting the plans and things. So then before we return, we can just add some stuff where if we have a user, then we want to go and look up their subscription status. Has this done it? No,
Yeah.
that's all wrong.
Oh.
We're going to say
user data, right?
Data equals await supabase.from user.
Can we use the Supabase client that's passed in from the with auth thing? That's what I'm looking for.
So with auth is going to pass through a Supabase client.
Because this sets, if for those of you who weren't here in a previous stream, this Supabase client is in the context of the currently signed in user. So hopefully, I can't remember if we actually wrote an RLS rule or not to filter the user data table by the currently signed in user, but this will ensure that they can't access someone else's user data because we're using the correct client. Whereas if we're using our like global service role client, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, this set auth is where we're setting the auth context for our user on our Supabase client. And so then we're returning that Supabase client. And so that's the one that we want to use in our landing page. So we're pulling that out of what we're getting passed back from that with auth function. And then we're using that down here to say Supabase client.from user data. So this is our table user data. We want to select our, I guess we want to select our status, our subscription tier. And we want to do that where there is a match on.
I feel like assuming we'll set the RS later, or maybe it's already there, but we don't even need this match, huh? We can just say single and be done with it because role of security takes care of that. This is nice.
That's a good idea. Let's go write that rule then. Let's make sure.
Yeah.
So if we come across to our authentication policies and look at our user data policy, we have, well, this would have failed anyway because we don't actually have any policies. And this hasn't failed previously when we've used it because we've been using the service role. So as we said before, that bypasses RLS. So nowhere in our like authenticated user side of our querying logic have we actually selected anything from user data. So we want to write this from scratch. And what we're going to say is a user can select their user data. This is going to be a select policy. Our roles are just going to be for authenticated. So the user would have to be authenticated to be able to, like, for there to be a user. So we're going to set that to authenticated, and then we're going to say that the
ID. It's just the our primary key is the same.
Nice.
Yeah. So the ID of our user data table. So this is the ID column. We're checking that that ID column matches our auth.uid function, which is a special function that Supabase gives us that returns the currently signed in user, or the user that's trying to select this data currently. So we can review that and click Save Policy. And now, what Tyler was saying is true because they can only select their record, and because it's a primary key, there'll only be one of them. So we can just assume that without needing to match on that particular user, they're only able to look up their user data. So therefore, we can just chain on .single to just get that one individual row that's associated with that user. Cool. So we can pull out subscription tier here, and then if we
It's very
have...
optimistic, just destructuring straight away. I love it. Let's go.
So if we have a user, then I guess we're trying to pass through this data into index, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll just pass down the subscription tier, no? What's the problem with that?
There's no problem with that. Let's do subscription tier. I'm going to fix this up because... all right. We're going to stop being optimistic. And we're going to say subscription tier is set to data dot subscription tier, just so we can rename it to camel case, because we're going to be using this in our application, which might look weird using snake case. So that and also our plans are going to get sent through. And then here we want to destructure our subscription status, subscription tier. But we've just hit 2 hours. We got to stop. No,
Yeah.
We'll finish it. All right, so we're passing through our subscription tier, and then here, down here where we're mapping over each of our plans. Why is this red? Damn you, TypeScript. Plans now has any, whatever. Here where we have our button. Is this the best way to do this? Yeah.
Can we just like see that we got the subscription tier on the front end?
What's with your negativity here, Alaister? What's with your pessimistic attitude about our code?
It's a lack of optimism. It's not.
You used to trust our code. What happened? Right.
Did I?
Log out our subscription tier.
Did you not?
Whoa. All right. Our subscription tier is set to free.
Looks like I should have trusted the code.
So now, if we want to, I guess, like we want to render out this button if they're not on free, which feels weird because we're kind of like linking some, like coupling that, but we've kind of coupled that here anyway with like the plan name and stuff. So that's fine. That's fine.
Keep in mind as well that the subscription tier may be undefined, which we can also treat as free. So if it's free or undefined, that counts as free.
Good call. So here we could say if our subscription tier...
Can we possibly do that up there when we pass in the subscription tier? Just add a question and then :free to make sure that it'll always have a value. If it doesn't have a value, yeah.
So when we're pulling it out of our...
where is it? Where did it go? I think it's up there, somewhere there.
Do you mean up here, or do you mean when we're actually sending it back?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. So it's either this or... Oh, no, but this doesn't run...
Oh, right.
The case where we don't have a local user. So we'd still need messiness.
Yep.
But we could have a nice condition here where we could say like const should render manage button, and then this can have our rule. So if we have a subscription tier, if subscription tier
or maybe we can just add subscription tier free on line 48 when we just returning plans. We can just say return free is subscription tier as well,
or free. And then here
subscription.
tier is free. All right. And
I like
then,
it.
well, we could still have this and just say subscription tier does not equal free. So if it doesn't equal free, then we should render the manage button, manage subscription button. So then down here, anywhere where we have a button, we can say if we should render the manage button, then we want to do the manage button. Otherwise, we want to do whatever this is. So now we will render this one, and our manage button will look like this. No. Broke everything.
I think
Just
the
move the manage button up one.
Yep.
That's all you
line
need to do.
135
Oh, yeah, right.
can be
All right.
nice.
All the red, it made me panic. I couldn't focus.
Can we copy the class name from the other button to make it look nice?
Good idea. Oh, it's all of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So now let's just copy up to here and go to our next button. All right. That's fine. What am I talking about? That's done.
Let's have a look.
I thought we still had 3 plans here.
Thought so as well.
Cool. All right. So we can purchase, because if we have a look at our current user, they are set to free because they've canceled their subscription. So then if we go the premium one and go through this flow, when we get redirected back to our landing page, we get redirected to our success page. And then if we go back to our landing page, we should see manage subscription.
Yay, sweet.
Yay. And if we manage
Beautiful.
our subscription and then we go back to, well, I guess we could just update it to the free plan and confirm.
Oh yeah, that works, doesn't it?
And then we go return to happy days.
And you
We
delete it in
see
Stripe.
purchase.
Oh no, free plan update. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. We just need to get rid of that
Sweet.
manage subscription button up here.
And get rid of that TypeScript error by saying :any after plan.
Woo! Love it.
Explicitly any.
Awesome. All right, cool. And that's it. We did it.
Sweet.
We
Sweet.
implemented customer portals in Stripe. So as a quick recap, what did we do? We created a new function that can handle setting up. Actually, we started over in Stripe land. So we went and enabled our customer portal. So if you search customer portal, we went and told Stripe what we would like our customers to be able to do within our portal. We then created an edge function which handled actually creating a Stripe customer portal session. And so this calls stripe.billingportal.sessions.create and passes through which customer we'd like to create that for. And then we needed to trigger this somewhere in our application. So we extended our landing page to have a function that handles our managed subscription. And so that just uses supabase.functions.invoke to call our edge function. And then we just redirect the user over to Stripe. And then we also updated our Stripe webhooks so that we were actually handling each of those different events. So if the customer is deleting their subscription, if their subscription is expiring, then we want to downgrade them to the free tier. And if not, then we want to update them to whichever payment tier they are currently, or subscription tier they are currently purchasing. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. If you enjoy this SaaS example and you want to go through something much quicker and go and build your next enterprise, then check out this entirely free Egghead course, Build a SaaS Product with Next.js, Supabase, and Stripe. If you have just been evicted from your free plan on Heroku, you should go and check out our migrate.supabase.com tool that Alaister and the front end team have built to allow you to seamlessly, with one click, migrate across your Heroku free tier to our very generous free tier. I recommend you go and check out YouTube/C/Supabase and click that little subscribe button and the
We're
notification
so
bell.
close to hitting 6K.
Yeah, come and subscribe and push us over the edge of 6,000 subscribers. That would be amazing. And then you will get notified anytime we're going live with these. If you want to join us each week, we're doing these every Thursday at 5 p.m. PT or 8 p.m. ET or 2 a.m. in whatever time zone you are in currently. You should also head over to twitter.com/Supabase and give us a follow to hear about all of the
Look
cool
at that,
stuff.
40K.
Oh yeah, 40K. I think there's a campaign going on as well where you can.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you
there's a
should.
tweet.
Head on over to our Twitter account somewhere. We will have a 40K announcement where we're giving away 40 Supabase t-shirts. So come and comment on this tweet for your chance to snag yourself some dope swag. To snag your swag, you should also click through to the discord.supabase.com URL, which will redirect you to this invite to our Supabase community channel, where we have 8,668 members who are very excited about Supabase and building cool stuff. So come and join the community and tell us what you're building. If you like us, then you should go and check out D. Shukert Jr. on Twitter, which is Tyler. You can check out Alaister at Alaister Young, spelt incorrectly. And
You'll offend all the Scottish people. I think it's a traditional Scottish spelling, that
Okay, sorry. The traditional Scottish spelling of Alaister at Alaister Young on Twitter. And you can follow me at twitter.com/Jon Meyers_IO. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. Thank you, everyone who joined us live. Thank you, everyone who is watching later. And we will see you again next week.
Uh-oh, did my camera die at the end?
Yeah,
That's
just
all right.
imagine.
We can
Tyler's waving.
imagine that. Oh,
Guys.
Tyler is waving.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Have a good week,
All right.
everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
enjoy everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.